How many of you guys have ever been sledding? Okay, cool, 4 or 5, that's actually a pretty good ratio. So I spent time in Alaska growing up as a kid. My dad was military, we were stationed at Fort Wainwright. And by the house we had this huge sled hill, and I'm sure if I went back now it probably isn't as big as I remember it, but at the time it was huge. And in my family you had 2 options for sleds. You had the big long plastic one that you were supposed to ride in with a sibling, and you had like rope, you could kind of steer where you went. Or you had the flying saucer that was just like one person, you sat in it and you held on for dear life and prayed you didn't end up in the snow. And I liked touching my siblings even less than I liked not having control over where I was going, so I chose the flying saucer. And there was one day in particular, I will always remember it because we went out and I sled. We went down a couple times. The 3rd time I get to the top, I get in the sled and I start to go down the hill. And I realized that at the bottom of the hill, some of the older kids in the neighborhood had cleared out some of the snow, and they'd piled it up into a mound. So you had a dip and a ramp as they were trying to get some air time. I'm in the flying saucer, I don't have room, like I can't control this. So I hit, bounce, fly out, hit my head. Sledding was done, and actually as I think back, like sledding was pretty much done. I didn't really go sledding much after that. We'd go for the family to the big hills, and I didn't want to because I really hurt my head. I really hit my head. And as I was prepping for this, I was like, that is such a perfect analogy for life, right? You get on this edge of the hill, right? And you got 2 ways to get at the edge of the hill to sled, right? You can set the sled down far enough back to get in and then like pull yourself forward until gravity takes over and you take off. Or you can like set the sled down at the very edge, hop in and hold on and pray, right? Because gravity's taking off with you whether or not you're ready. And as we go through life and as you go down that hill, you're gonna hit some bumps. There's gonna be some big kids in the neighborhood who will set up a ramp that you're not ready for. And the trick is once you get that momentum going, once you get that energy going, how do you keep it going? How do you keep, when you hit the ramp, how do you keep from spilling out of your sleigh? Right? How do you keep yourself moving forward and not being done at that moment in time? And that's what I'm here to talk with you guys about. I want to give you 4 keys on how to create and maintain momentum for yourself. Is that cool? Yeah. Okay. So how many keys were there? Just checking. Thank you. You guys got to help me out. I'm ADD. So do we have the, we don't need it yet. Never mind. Sorry. ADD thing. Did I mention that one? Okay. So key number 1. Key number 1 is have a mentor. Key number 1 is have a mentor. Now, hopefully, some of you guys are going, seriously? I showed up for that? Like, this should not be news to you guys, that you need to have someone you can go to help you out. And actually, none of these 4 keys are all that revolutionary. I'll bet you anything, most of you guys have heard these keys before, but what I want to do is take them a different route, take them a deeper level for you guys. Is that cool? Yeah. Okay. So have a mentor. The first key to having a mentor is you have to, 1, you have to have one, but 2, you have to actually like meet with them. It's hilarious. I know, it's like, what? Okay, and it's funny to me because I'm in front of hundreds of people every single week. We have thousands of people who follow us on social media. Like, we got a big following, and I hear from people weekly, Steph, you're my coach, you're my mentor, I love it, you're great, you're great, you're great. I hear this all the time. And then it kills me because then I send out a note, right? And I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna be at this event speaking, and everyone's like, yeah, and then no one shows up. And I totally had that planned in there before this one happened, right? Because it's like, I do that all the time. I'm like, guys, show up. And they don't. And then they're like, hey, Stephanie, can you meet with me for lunch one-on-one? I'm like, if you can't show up when I'm talking to a group, and you can't digest my content then, why would I spend time with you just one-on-one? If you can't show up to play with your mentor more often than just once every blue moon, how exactly are they helping you out? See, you got to meet with your mentor at least once a month, right? I don't care if you meet with them every week, every other week, at least once a month. You got to have someone, you got to meet with them. And sometimes that mentor isn't always someone you can meet with one-on-one. I have a coach, he considers one of his mentors a guy by the name of Grant Cardone's. Now, Cardone's out of Florida. Cardone charges $10,000 an hour for coaching. And so my coach doesn't meet with him every single month. What he does is he reads his books every month, he interacts with him on social media, he goes through his platforms, his university. He spends time every month working with Cardone, even indirectly. And so you can pick a mentor that maybe you can't necessarily meet with, but you can interact with them and you can learn from them. But there's a second key that's even more important to making that mentorship valuable than just having someone and meeting with them, and that is giving them permission to hold you accountable and to call you on the carpet. Oh, I know, that was a little harsh. I know, no one likes that one. Have you ever been reading a book and you read something and you're like, I don't like that, right? So you just move on instead of like digesting it and like going, let me think this one through. And so whether or not you're meeting with your mentor one-on-one or you're just reading their content, watching their videos, you still have to give them permission to call you on the carpet, because guess what? It sucks. The other day, I made some sort of offhand comment to my coach, and he just lit into me, took me to town for that one. And at first I was super mad. I was like, how dare you? It was an offhand comment, and you were just like, and then I was like, wait a second, what's the rule he told me? Take 2 days, calm down, come back if you still think I'm wrong. And then I realized he was right. I was mad because I didn't want to face that. And so if you don't give your mentor permission to call you on the carpet, what will happen is when they call you on the carpet, you'll brush it off. You'll be like, nah, that's not really me, they just don't know me. So the first key is to have a mentor. First key to having a mentor, you have to meet with them, you have to let them call you on the carpet. So key number 1 is have a mentor. So I'm gonna do a lot of fill in the blank. And there's a reason for that, actually. I hope the rest of the speakers will do this all day too, because I did and this is a side note, because, it's fun to go off the trail. So I did a couple of things last year that were really, really, really impactful for me. One of them was I went to a Tony Robbins conference. Has anyone here ever gone to seen Tony Robbins live? Holy freaking crap. I was like a fan before, but now I'm like super fangirl. I love that guy's amazing. If you ever get the chance, totally go do it. But one of the things he talked about was this. If you want to retain 30%, up to 30% of what we're going to talk about today, just sit in the room, fold your arms, and just sit and listen. And you can retain up to 30%. How many of you guys came here to learn a little bit more and retain a little bit more than 30%? All right, my guys over here, it's spread across the room like a wave. Okay. If you want to retain more than 30%, then do what you guys are doing right now. You want to retain up to 60%, take notes, interact, right? Pay attention, engage with your speakers, because we've got a slew of people coming on this stage today. Very smart people coming up here. Engage with them, interact with them, take notes, ask questions, and you can get, about 60% retention. But I don't know about you guys, but 60% is a little bit too close to 50% for me. So I go for the 85%. And the only way you're going to do that is if you engage completely. You have to do the call and response. You got to talk to these people. When we're up here on stage and we say yes or yes, you say? Yes. Right? When we're up here on stage, we say true or true, you say? Right? Oh, come on. This side of the room is really beating you guys up. Like, seriously, you guys are in trouble over here. Okay, you got to engage. 85% retention comes from taking notes, engaging, using your body. So on the breaks, get up, move around, find someone to talk to. Engage with this unless you didn't come to play. If you didn't come to play, why were you guys the first ones in the room? Right? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay, so key number 1 is have a mentor. Key number 2 is what we call friend power. Key number 2 is the people you hang out with. Now, when I discovered this key in 2012, I thought I was the smartest person in the world. I didn't realize like everyone talks about this thing, right? Jim Rohn says you are the average of how many of the 5 people you hang out with, right? There's another quote that says, "Show me your friends, and I will show you your future." The people you hang out with impact where you go. But one thing I started to realize was that it's a lot more than just the people you hang out with. See, when we put the book out, we chose the title, Friend Power, How the Friends You Choose Can Change the Course of Your Life. And that's the piece most people tend to forget. It's about the people you choose to hang out with. And we make that choice every single day. Every single day we choose who we're going to hang out with our family. Every single day we choose who we're going to hang out with at home, with religion, at work, coworkers, sponsors, mentors, whoever you want to call it. You're making a choice, or you're choosing not to decide. Who wants a copy of this, by the way? I believe in the power of taking action. And I believe those who take action get rewarded. And so the people who take action are going to come take the book. I have one more. Who wants it? Come on. Uh-oh, you better run, Karina. Wait, hold on. Come here.
That's okay.
Oh, she has another one.
All right. So, Does that one get it through, guys? We got to play full out, yes or yes? Okay, so friend power is about how the people you choose to hang out with are impacting where you go with your life. Every single month I sit down and I look through who are the people on my calendar? Who are the people I'm hanging out with and interacting with on a regular basis? And when I'm done, am I excited? Am I motivated? Am I fired freaking up? Or am I drained? Am I exhausted? Am I tired? And it's hard to keep going. And what's amazing is every single month when I make this list, those people who drain me have a way of working their way off my calendar. But if you're not aware of that, how's it going to work out? Because what happens is you get around all these people and they impact exactly where you go with your life, whether or not you're aware of it. So friend power is about how the friends you choose. And I will say this, and I know this is always a risky statement to make. I get it. You can't choose your family, but you can choose how much time you spend with them. And that one always lowers like a boom too, and people are like, ooh, wait, what? What did she just say? Yes. You can choose how much time. I love my family to death. I love every single one of them. But there are some times when I just don't hang out with them as much. Because every time I get off the phone, I'm exhausted. I have no energy to go on to another conversation. Or I make sure that when I'm talking with them, I'm in a space where it's not going to pull me away from my goals. So key number 1 is have a mentor. Key number 2 is friend power. Key number 3. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay. So thank you. I totally forgot. So I believe that once you start to connect with these people, once you start to connect with once you start to figure out like who do you want to hang out with, some people are going to start working their way out of your life. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Okay, so you got to replace those people. The way you're going to find those people, think about this, guys, for a second. Let's actually go back. Think about this. 3.5 million people in San Antonio. 150 people purchased tickets to today. You guys are the ones that showed up. You guys are the ones that showed up. That tells me you guys are the players. You guys are the ones who will go out, show up, and make stuff happen. Yes or yes? So what I want to do is I want to encourage you, this is where you go. Like whenever I'm looking for new people to hang out with, I go to events. I fly across the country 4 times a year to go to events, to connect with people, to motivate me, to pick me up. And you don't have to do that anymore because San Antonio is getting more and more of those events. We host some. I gave John permission to give away a $500 ticket later today to our 2-day scripting seminar, so you might want to hang out for that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the chance to win a ticket to our sales boot camp. It's a 4-hour boot camp. Like you think boot. We don't do push-ups, fortunately. But we do pretty much everything else. It's 4 hours. All you have to do, text your name and your email to this number. And you do have to put your name and your email because if we don't know who you are, it's really hard to tell you won. And we'll do a drawing tomorrow. We'll give 5 tickets away. It's a $90 ticket. We'll give 5 tickets away to people to join us. We do this 4 times a year, so you're welcome to join us at one of those, but you do have to text in, either now or by midnight. But, why wait, right? I'll give you guys a second. There's the music, right? All right. So key number 1 was what? Have a. Key number 2 was? Key number 3 is write your goals down. I know, right? What? But there's another word that's going to go after that. And I want to explain why in just a second. When we start setting goals, how many of you guys sit down and you sit down and really focus to set your goals? Yes or yes, right? It's not something you typically do on the fly. You sit down, you focus. And what happens is when you sit down to work on your goals, your body reacts and you get into this cocktail of super hyped up, pumped up adrenaline, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can take over the world. I've never climbed a mountain in my life, but we're going to climb Mount Everest this year, right? You get super, super pumped about what you can accomplish. And then you come out of your little
zone and you start working and life goes, hey, yeah, by the way, instead of focusing on the mountain, you should probably watch where you're going so you don't fall off the path, right? Does that happen to anyone else, or is that just am I the only one out there who deals with that one, right? It's you're going and it's I'm going, oh crap, right? Oh, I gotta. And what happens is every single day you're working, you get hit over the head and hit over the head and hit over the head. And focus, stay focused. And what happens is you lose track of where you're going. And I've had this happen. There was a period in my business when I just sat down and all I could think was, why am I doing this? I could go get a job paying 6 figures somewhere and not deal with this much headache. I don't have to do this crap. Why am I doing this to myself? And what happened was it was because I wasn't focusing on where we were going. See, Tony Robbins has a quote. He says, "We as human beings vastly overestimate what we can accomplish in a year and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10, 20, or 30. We as human beings vastly overestimate what we can accomplish in a year and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10, 20, or 30. Because we forget to stay focused on our goals. Think about that 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we didn't have Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, Snapchat, Instagram. Facebook had only 100 million users, and it was primarily college students. 10 years. 10 years ago, we bought our razors at the grocery store primarily. And then 8 years ago, this little company popped up with a really cool commercial, Dollar Shave Club, and broke an industry that had stood for decades. Broke it. Who doesn't have a shave club like at this point? Gillette has, well, everyone has some sort of shave club. And they're all sitting here saying, I'm cheaper and better than the other guy. The entire industry was revolutionized in 8 years, and now Dollar Shave Club is valued at over $1 billion. 8 years, where are you gonna be in 8 years? We vastly overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10, 20, or 30. And so that word that goes after write your goals down is write your goals down daily. Every single day, you should be writing your goals down, refocusing yourself. First thing I do when I get out of bed in the morning, I go shower, get dressed, get my breakfast, and I sit down on the couch. I do journaling, a gratitude exercise, and I write my goals every single day. Today I was here by 8 a.m., so you know what I did? I sat out in the car, and I journaled, did my gratitude exercise, and wrote my goals. Because it keeps me focused on where I'm going long term. Because guess what? Life has a funny way of happening. I got 3 texts by 8:30 this morning that were going, ah! And all of a sudden you're like, okay, let me just focus on dealing with this real quick. If you can't stay focused on the long term, where will you be in 8 years, 10 years, 20 years? So write your goals down how often? Daily. Now the last key, hopefully, is something you guys don't have to be told, but I want to walk you guys through it anyhow. So you see the little dot we got on the screen over here? This little dot on the screen represents all of the information you know that you know. All the information you know that you know. So I know that I know how to make a cup of coffee. I know that I know how to teach sales. I know that I know how to make a sale. I know that I know how to write a book. I know that I know how to speak English most days. I know that I know these items. But then beyond that, there's this circle of things that you know that you don't know. For example, I know that I don't know how to fix a lawnmower or change the oil in my car. These are things that I just would rather hire an expert for. Actually, I don't even own a lawnmower. We just outsourced that one. Right? I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go push that thing around. Okay? Because I know that it's not my strength. I know that it's not my area of expertise. But beyond that, you have all the things that you don't even know you don't know. See, when I started in sales, I actually did very, very good in sales from the get-go. Like, from the very beginning, I did great as a salesperson. I was the #2 sales rep for the #1 division of a nationwide company at 23 years old. Did very well. First job out is 22, sorry. Right? And then my mom comes to me and goes, Stephanie, you should check out this sales trainer. And I was like, Mom, I got this. I don't need help. I had no clue what I was missing, right? I was good enough at sales. I didn't need help. I didn't need training on this. What I didn't know was all the tactics and tools. I didn't know anything about scripting or this trust and rapport concept or identifying needs. All I knew was that I could sell. I had no clue how much information was out there that I didn't even have any concept of. And so what I want to encourage you guys to do, key number 4, is to always be learning. Key number 4 is to always be learning, but learning is only so valuable, true or true. You guys heard knowledge is no longer power. Applied knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. You can sit here, you can learn all you want to today, but if you don't do anything with it, you just wasted your entire day. How much does that suck? Okay, maybe that would just suck for me. I don't have a day to waste. I've got to learn stuff, and I've got to go do something with it to make it worth my time, yes or yes? Okay, so The thing to realize is this, one of my favorite graphics ever is this one, right? Your comfort zone, where the magic happens. Notice how they don't intersect. But the cool thing is, as you go to learn and as you go to implement, the circle starts to grow. And then you implement more and it grows again. And you implement more and it grows again. And before you know it, your comfort zone is where the magic happens. But it won't happen that way unless you commit yourself to actually implementing what you learn. So my challenge for you guys today is you're about to drink out of a freaking fire hose. You're about to get so much information. As you go, put stars next to the things that you know you need to work on first thing on Monday morning, so that you can go back and just look for the stars instead of trying to go through everything we go through, because I guarantee you're going to have pages and pages and pages of notes from this. So star the stuff you know you want to come back to, because you've got to start implementing it. And here's what I can absolutely promise you is this. It is going to take some work to make this thing happen. You are going to have to get up every day and recommit yourself to your goals. Key number 1 was what? You're going to have to put some work into going and meeting with them, or reading their books, or getting engaged. Key number 2 was friend. You're going to have to spend time working on who are you hanging out with. Are they lifting you up, or are they taking you down? Because I guarantee you this, the friends you keep will elevate or relegate your success in life. And so you have to put work in to make sure you're hanging out with the right people. Key number 3 was write your goals down. Daily. You want to tell me that one's easy to do? No, you have to actually make time. And how often do you actually have extra time in the morning? All right? It's amazing how quickly the day gets rolling. You have to make time. You have to put the work in. And the last key was always be learning, but most importantly, always be implementing. You have to do something with it. You have to do something with what you learn. Otherwise, it was a waste of your time. It was a waste of your energy. It was a waste of your money. So go do something with it. Because the beautiful thing is when you put the effort in, you will earn the freedom to have the life you desire. But until you do, you will be stuck exactly where you are. So the question today is this: where will you be in 10 years? Thank you guys so much. Let's make it an awesome day.